Hi, I'm Denise and I'm the founder and therapist of Infinite Hope Counselling. I've come on today to do a bit of a video to just explain some of the service updates and changes that are coming to the therapy service that I provide. So first of all, apologies because I've been very quiet on social media recently, and I normally like to do a couple of posts a week or at least a couple a month, but I've been quiet for various reasons. So I'm going to share a little bit about why, and then I'm going to share some updates with you that will maybe impact session times, or whether you choose to inquire about sessions. So I've been a bit quiet because I've been doing various CPD, so continual professional development courses that are relevant to my practice. So I've done some amazing training around what the impacts are of trauma and our long-term memory, and how it changes our short-term perception of things, and that's been really interesting but very intense. And also I've done some of Dr. Jessica Taylor's courses on misogyny and also microaggressions, and it's been really interesting to look at that. So alongside that, I've also have been very lucky to have amazing clients and a very full practice, so I am very limited on slots. So I currently have 2 evening slots available and a few daytime slots. So if you are wondering about counselling, or you're kind of interested but you're unsure, please reach out and we can have an initial chat to discuss how I might be able to help, or if you're thinking about coming, because once those slots have gone, I will then be operating a waiting list system where it will be first come first served, but obviously I can't guess or gauge always the amount of time you'll be waiting. So if you are interested, please reach out. I'm going to start with something not so positive, I guess, which is that I've decided that from the 1st of September that I'm going to increase my prices for an extra £5 per session. And the reason being because of the cost of living, and many of my clients have been asking me for months, "Oh, you put your prices up, what's happening?" And I've really tried to keep it as reasonable as I can, but just like everybody else, every bill of mine has gone up as well. And that's the hardest thing in this job, is trying to make sure that I'm providing what my clients need, whilst making sure that financially I can pay my bills too. So that's from the 1st of September. All my current clients are aware, and there will be an update on the website and the Facebook page just to remind people that that's happening. So on to better news. I've got 2 really exciting pieces of news to share with you. I guess the first, well, actually 3 exciting pieces of news to share with you actually. The first one is that I have been approached by Brains Magazine, and I'm going to be doing some articles for an online publication, which I will share the links of on my socials. They're going to be particularly trauma-centred articles, and one of them is going to be about the impacts of trauma in the digital age, and thinking about things like CSE online. And then the second one is going to be an interview, which is a bit more uncomfortable for me, about me and my practice. So keep your eye out, and as soon as I've got those details, I will pass them forward. So that's something that's coming up soon. In beginning of June, I think end of May, I shared that I've been really lucky to be able to win an award, and this award was I was nominated for because 3 of my clients took the time out to share amazing depth of perception and aspects of their therapeutic journey, basically from the events of their trauma onwards, to show the difference it had made when they nominated me. So I did share, but I won the Midlands Enterprise Awards 2022 for being the Sexual Violence and Complex Trauma Therapist of the Year. So I don't know if you can see that, obviously it's backwards, but I wanted to show you. It's a lovely slate trophy, it's quite big. And I'm really blessed that my clients have gone out of their way yet again to find somewhere to share what was important about their therapy, to allow me to have this accolade. And this job is such a privilege, because the fact that someone can trust you in their journey to walk alongside them, and hold the hope when they can't find it, is so important to me. But I was particularly blown away for 2 reasons. So many of you know that last year was very difficult for me. I lost my mum suddenly without any warning, and I took a chunk of time off, took 6 weeks off work to make sure that I could be in a good place for my clients when I returned. And it impacted some people's journey, obviously, and you know, not everybody stayed with me, which is right, that every client should have the autonomy to choose. But these 3 clients had stayed with me and talked very openly about the fact that those 6 weeks allowed them to see that the tools that we'd put in place had empowered them to cope without therapy. And that was really amazing. The journeys that they shared, the comments that they made will always stay with me. They've gone out of their way to say things that really represent their journey and what's been important. So I just want to say a massive thank you. All 3 of you know who you are, and you know, I don't take it lightly. It's really lovely. We don't do this job for awards. We do this job because we want to make a difference and change someone's life really as we go along. So thank you, I really appreciate it. I've been thinking a lot recently about what's next for me in my practice. A few of you know that I run groups, and that's something I'm going to continue to do, but I'm looking at sort of changing dynamics slightly. So I do a lot of things that I assume are normal in therapeutic practice, especially when working with trauma, and I've realised they're not always. So I have decided to undertake a master's course at Essex University, which starts in October, and I'm doing criminology and forensic psychology because I really want to understand the justice system more and why it lets, well, in my perception, lets victims down, particularly of sexual violence, so often, to do some writing and to impart knowledge. And the idea is that I'll use that to create some free resources for people who are wanting trauma therapy but can't quite afford it, or are just desperate and need help. So that's the plan. So there's a few exciting updates there and a lot of changes. So I would say that if anybody's concerned that is either currently with me and we haven't had a chance to catch up, or is a potential new client who wants some information or just wants to check in, that you can get in touch. I will keep you up to date on my social media pages, and I will definitely try harder to make sure you've got all the information that you need about any changes coming up. There will be pinned posts on my website and my Facebook page to remind you of the price increase. And also, if those slots do go, then when the waiting list is operational again, that will be on all social media platforms, so you can see that I'm operating on a waiting list system. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the summer, however many weeks of it you've got left, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.